What up, Gripsters and random YouTubers? Evan here for Grips.com, continuing with part 2 of Charlie Carrel's $1.2 million victory hand history review. We're down to the final 5, and our man Charlie Carrel is still alive. If you haven't yet watched part 1, the link for that is in the video description. I strongly encourage you to check it out. There were a ton of cool hands and a ton of great learning opportunities. And if you're ready for part 2, let's get into the action and see how our man, King Charles, got stacking. We see it's very interesting. The kick's got 100 bigs. Gibbler and Guerin both have 70 bigs. And then you have Charlie and Odd Odson both with 20 blinds, although that's about to change. So with this particular chip stack setup, the kick can put a lot of pressure on Gibbler and Guerin because, well, first let's sweat these kings that I think Charlie is going to win. He's good at those kings. He's really good with those kings. Because the difference in payouts from, okay, so 5th is $351,000. 4th is $492,000. 3rd is $690,000. And 2nd and 1st are both over $1 million. Because, 3rd is $700K, whereas 5th is $350. And these two players are so short, they're very likely to go out if the players just wait around and take their time, especially with the blinds going up. There's a lot less incentive for Guerin and Harrison to do battle with the one guy who can bust them. If they just kind of chill out and bide their time, they can double their payout, be guaranteed $700,000, and then start battling, as opposed to risking potentially getting $350K and leaving a minimum of $350K and upwards of almost $1 million on the table by doing battle with the one guy who has them covered. And now this is going to get pronounced even more, because Odd Odson only has 3 big blinds, so he's like almost guaranteed, not guaranteed, but like extremely likely, like 95% likely to both be all in the next orbit. He's 100% likely to be all in the next orbit, and probably about an 80% chance to be eliminated this orbit. And so because the chance of him going out is so high, and it's 140K pay jump, 14 buy-ins to just wait for that to happen. At this stage of the game, the big stack can put tons of pressure on the medium stacks who have so much to lose by going out before the short stack. We're talking a lot about ICM, independent chip modeling, because it is an absolutely crucial topic to tournament play. It's critical. Like, the kick could make it 1.1 million here. What does Charlie do with a hand even as strong as Ace-Queen, knowing that Odd Odson is about to be out in like 2 hands? It would appear that he was thinking about it. Interesting flop, top pair, backdoor not flush draw for Charlie, got an open-ended straight draw for the kick. Gibbler didn't get none of that. I think if chip stacks were reversed, we probably would have seen Gibbler 3-bet the ace-4 suited as opposed to flat it, but because he's the shorter stack of the two, and again he has a lot to lose being that second place stack, he's more inclined to keep the pot small. He still wants to play his hand, he still thinks ace-4 suited is playable, but he wants to play with kind of a smaller multiplier on the pot size. Every additional bet we put in pre-flop is like putting a bigger multiplier on the pot size, both on the flop and by the river. You're just inflating it and having it grow exponentially. So by calling there, we're controlling the size of the pot spot. The pot, both on the flop and on all future streets. Charlie check calls one with top pair, turns 2 pair. I don't think he's going anywhere. The kick's in an interesting spot. He still has the open-ender. He has one of his weakest hands in terms of showdown value, so it's probably one he wants to be turning into a bluff. Whether he wants to do that now or wait till the river. Now it looks like he's going to go 3. And yeah, it's going to be that spot where he's trying to put the ICM pressure on Charlie because Odd Odson's there. And I think because of Odd Odson's stack size, the kick is feeling more inclined to bet bigger and bluff bigger so he can put Charlie all in. He can put him to the test on the river. And here we'll see. I mean, he's got to go for it. Now his other draw got there. His 6-8 got there. His clubs missed, but there are some clubs that got there. He's got some made hands. 6-8 sets. Queen Jack of clubs. But Charlie's just like, I don't care about ICM. I got the best hand. You're bluffing too much, mate. I call you. And that's it. And just like that, now Charlie's the one with the chip lead. And we'll see if he puts it to use and what he does with it. And I think a large reason why the kick, even opened the 4-6 offsuit in the first place and then went for those really big bets was because of the ICM pressure, the considerations we were just talking about with odd odds and being there. Now, obviously, it's not all about just the pay jumps from 5th to 4th to 4th to 3rd. It's also how much more do I get if I go for first? How much more money am I likely to get, if I go for first, second, third? Yeah. And Charlie wins the all-in there. Ace-9 suited against Jack-10 suited. Odd Odson is out in 5th place for $350,000. And now all our remaining players are guaranteed $500,000. That's $500,000. Charlie in the chip lead, 1 of 4, doing it. Blind 75, 150K. We got some deep stacked action. Everyone has 50 blinds or more. Charlie's got even more. So very interesting to see what's going to happen here. Garen going with the limping in blind versus blind strategy. We've seen he's been implementing that pretty much the whole final table. No reason to change that now. The kick has a strong enough hand to raise it up. And Garen sees 3 and gets a pretty good flop. Can't imagine he's going to be folding with Ace-7. Wow, the kick is just firing off buckshots. I don't know if he's tilted from before or he's just thinking that Garen doesn't have many aces in his limping range. But the kick is going for max pressure, and with no draws being out there on the flop and Garen being willing to call too, I think this would be pretty suicidal to fire a 3rd bullet at this one. If the 7 was a diamond or a heart, there are some flush draws Garen could be calling with that would now fold to a river bet. But with it being pretty rainbow, he's probably folding all his gut shots on the turn if he calls them on the flop. There aren't many weak hands that Garen's going to have anymore. I didn't know about all this table talk. I didn't know about all this stuff and all these hands. And I love how the tournament is reinforcing the concepts. Like right after we're talking about a concept, just something happens in the tournament that demonstrates it. Usually it would be like something happens in the tournament, then we talk about it. We're talking about it before, and then it comes right after. It's like, I don't know, it's just really cool. Real serendipity, like real flowy. I think it's great. And I don't know if it's quite as much fun as the guys who are winning the millions of dollars, but I am having a really good time watching this. And that usually happens when I watch Charlie because he's just such a happy guy. He's enjoying things so much. It's just contagious. It's hard not to love the guy, and it's hard not to love his play as he goes bombs away with nothing but a gut shot right in a top pair. And I would imagine he's probably going to be shutting it down right around. Meow! Charlie, what are you doing, Charlie? Charlie, stop thinking about that. Charlie looks like he's about to get his finger bit. He's trying to put his hand in that cookie jar and... Charlie, someone bit your finger, Charlie. Wow, all the streets! Wow! Don't you gotta love how Charlie plays? He's like... I think he's got like Ace-10, maybe like Ace-Jack, maybe like Queen-Jack, maybe King-Jack, maybe even King-Queen, but I don't think he can like call 3 streets with King-Queen. And so like, I'm just gonna triple. It's like Ace-Queen-Queen, like, I got Jack-High. It's like bottom of my range, got a bluff or something, so like I'm just gonna triple. This is like the bottom of my tripling range. So I'm all in. I'm betting big. And he's like, Charles, why you do this to me, Charles? You put me in such a tough spot, Charles. I don't know what to do, mate. Love it. The kid is fearless. So he's got to call 1.8 and a 4.9. We'll call it 2 and a 5. He's got to be right about 30% of the time to be breaking even or showing a profit. So if he thinks Charlie's bluffing about a third of the time, he can call. But I feel like it's hard for Charlie to have a bluff here. Even his Ace X or King X, which have a diamond, could have gone to a backdoor flush. Wow, gets it through. Boom. Take that down. Send that man the chips. Chip leader. Got to open from the button with Queen 8. Flop in second pair. The kick. Fair defend with Ace High. He's got the backdoor, not flush draw. Not too much else going on. I feel like it's a decent hand to check back in Charlie's spot. be even better if he had the 8 of hearts. But I think it's a fine spot to check back. Maybe check back twice, bet the river, or maybe start betting now. You can get a little value from heart draws, straight draws. I don't know if ace high would call a bet here, or it would call a bet on the river, but pair of sevens probably will. So looks like Charlie's played this one masterfully, and he's going to get one bet out of his opponent. What do you guys like for sizing? 300K, 450, 600K, 900K? Let me know what you think. Hurry, do it before you bet. I hope you put it in, because now it's too late. 300K. 300K was the GTO, most optimal, perfect amount to bet with Queen 8 of clubs, Queen of diamonds, 9 of hearts, King of hearts, 9 of spades, 7 of hearts, versus an opponent who has Ace of hearts, 7 of diamonds, at the final table of the W Coupe. And the kick finds fold. Charlie's got a defending hand, faux show. 210K to play for a pot, 945,000. Deal me in, coach. Let's see 3. Let's see. Epiphany wins pot, 875,000. Garen wins pot, 525,000. Everyone's sitting with millions. All right, so Charlie's turned the open ender. I would imagine he's going to start bluffing with his hand now. And the kick checked back, thinking this king high has some showdown value. There are some flush draws he can turn, maybe some straight draws he can turn with a 10. Now he has second pair, so going to be calling a bet. And Charlie will probably put his opponent on a hand that's bluff catching. So I don't know if he'd follow through on all rivers. He'd probably follow through on rivers like this where he hits sevens and queens. And he'd probably follow through on spades as well, because he can represent those draws too. I would imagine on the other cards, like King, 6, 5, 4, 2, or any board pairs, that he'd probably shut it down. And wow, that bet sizing. He's going for the over bet. He's got his opponent on a bluff catcher, and he's going for the over bet. What do you guys think of this 2.1? So he's going 1.5x pot. Opponent's in a tough spot. Makes the fold. Good looking 3-bet spot for Charlie here. I think ace deuce suited a little bit better than ace 8 suited for 3-betting. Yes, technically it's a weaker hand, but with ace 8 you want the ace 3 in there, the ace 4 in there, because you dominate that hand. Whereas with the ace 2 suited, you don't dominate those hands. So if you can fold out ace 3, ace 4, ace 5, ace 6, ace 7, ace 8, maybe ace 9, that's a great outcome, because you forced out hands that were better than you. And, you save yourself chips in the case where you would have both flopped an ace. And, yeah, suited wheel aces are just great for 3-bet bluffing anyway, for those reasons. And, that's mainly it. Those are the main reasons. Solid flop for Garen here with the flush draw. Still, he does go for the check raise all in. I was going to say, I don't know if there's need to check raise all in, because if he gets called, he's up against an ace. And everything else will fold, but I don't think the other hands are going to keep barreling on later streets. That said, the pot stack ratio is real small. There's 1.4 million out there, 1.3 million. He's only got 2.2, so it's a decent chip up if he can get it. And Harrison says, I think you got a lot of flush draws. I'm calling you with my king high. Wow. Strong. He's thinking. If you got an ace, you're just going to check call. I think you got a lot of flush draws, brother. And I got king high, and I know you don't have the king high flush draw, so my king high is good, and I am calling. And wow, strong call by Gibbler there. Earned it. Earned the stack for 3-handed play. Congratulations to Garen, who finished in 4th place for $492,542.82. Apparently his name is Igor. And then there were 3. All of our players are guaranteed $700,000. And we got the kick, who's got 60 bigs. We got Harrison Gimbel with 45 blinds. And we have Charlie, Epiphany 77, Carrel with 66 big blinds. Let's get this party started. Fireworks about to ensue. Every player is guaranteed $690,000. Second place is $967,000. And first place is $1.35 million. Hope you don't give me a hard time for inflating the prizes a tiny bit in the previous parts. I said second was $1 million and first was 1.4. Gotta make it sound a little bit more exciting. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just only knew. I can't tell you. It's a spoiler. Secret. Can't tell you. So we got Gimbal, blind versus blind. He's got second pair and a wheel draw. Calls the flop. He calls the turn. He ain't going anywhere. And the kick catches. He catches the best hand on the river. He's two barreling with his gut shot, plus the jack was an overcard. Every river is going to be an overcard as well, so he probably felt that he could move Gibbler off a pair and a draw by the river. Now he actually made the best hand with a pair of sixes, and it goes check, check. We got C-bet. Gibbler with second pair. Reckon he's calling. Although a lot of cards that Charlie can put the pressure on here on this 10-high board. A lot of overcards are going to come off, king being one of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Charlie hit him with the triple here. This has the ace of spades, which is nice. The nut flush blocker, although it's just the draw. But if it comes spade, spade, good spot for him to rep. Gibbler, tough spot. You know, he's got second pair. There are a lot of draws Charlie can have, but he could also just have a king, have a 10. And it's not just this bet that Harrison has to worry about. There's also, you know, the 2.4 million that's going to come on the river. So does he want to call, you know, 3.6 million to show down his hand, to fight for a pot of 2 million? It's a pretty big investment when you add both the turn and the river bets in there, and therefore he's got to be pretty confident that his second pair is good. And so we talked about this before. It's important to be really selective about the turn and river spots and calling down on them, because the price is just so high. It is so costly to take your hand to showdown on the later streets. Pots are bigger on the river. We've been talking about this for years, and hasn't changed. In fact, the pots are just bigger now because people are over betting and stuff now, playing even bigger pots. So it's our strat. Charlie against second place against first place. We keep the pots small. We just limp in. Sounds about right. And I reckon this time he's going to be calling that 3.5x raise. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, mid pair for King Charles. I'm expecting to see a check call. Ace would be dirty. Let me know, people. Let me know, people, if you want pure strat, pure theory, or if you like my lame jokes sometimes too. Because I like throwing them in there. You know, helps me have more fun. And when I'm having more fun, I got way more energy to just keep on making content for you guys day after day after day after day. Because this is a game we love to play. And the more we can learn about it, the better we can play it. Charlie going for the value bet. And the better we can play, the more confident we are, the more we're going to want to play and the more we're going to win. So building confidence, super important. Learning, super important. And maintaining your fun and your joy is important, because that's what gives you the motivation to keep on learning, to put in the hours studying when you'd rather be playing or you'd rather be sleeping or whatever. Staying fired up, staying passionate, staying motivated. Boom. That's what keeps you going, and that's what gets you making those thin value bets with second pair, getting paid by third pair. Charlie taking the lead again, sitting on 71 big blinds. Let's go, champ. Again, I don't know about the kick. He might be some legend that I don't know, and Charlie has his own dynamics with him, but these are just the insights that I'm gaining and just trying to share what may possibly be some strategic adjustments Charlie has been making. Charlie turns an open ender, and we know he likes to try to bluff people off strong hands, so maybe we'll be seeing another triple here. He's betting big too. I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy this one. See what happens. Got those runner spades again. You know, Charlie loves to rep those back doors. Oh, he did it! He did it with the overbet. Oh, man. God, this guy's good. This guy's good. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to work. Even if it doesn't work, this guy's good. Wow, what a legend. What a legend. Puts him on the ace. Is he going to say good fold? So Charlie pulling off another epic overbet bluff. Moving farther away into the lead. He's got 60 blinds and both his opponents have 40 blinds. What a boss, man. What a boss, man. Charlie in the lead. Stats still fairly similar. Now second and third are pretty much tied with each other. This could be an action flop. Top pair. Good kicker for Charlie. Backdoor flush draw and an open-ended straight draw for Harrison. See this going check call. Could potentially see it going check raise, although I think on an ace high board check call is much more likely than if, say, it were a jack 8-7 board or 3-8-7 board. I think a check raise would be more likely on that board than an ace high board, just because with most of his value hands Harrison's just going to check call anyway, so for him to be check raising it might look a little suspect. Charlie going for that value, knowing that he can get paid off by worse aces. He can get paid by the straight draws. Harrison getting 3-1 with the open-ender. Gonna peel. Makes his hand. The question is he gonna lead out? Go for a check raise. I think it's pretty hard to get paid on a check raise, and it's pretty... I think it's unlikely that Charlie's gonna value bet thin in that spot. So maybe lead would be better. I don't know if he'd get paid, but... And here, somewhat action flop. We got a royal flush draw against top pair. So I think it's probably going to go bet call. No bet on the turn. Could have gone bet call. And then I don't know if the river would go bet call or check check. Interesting spot for Harrison. He's kind of like way ahead, way behind. Queen's got him smashed. He doesn't beat any kings, but he does beat all the draws, so he can charge the draws. Maybe charge some ace highs too. And we see that Charlie is indeed playing from Starbucks. And good river for Gibbler. He now chops with all kings. He now beats all queens. And outside, very outside, but outside chance his opponent might hero call him with ace high, thinking he could have... It's hard for him to have busted up diamonds, since this guy has 2 diamonds, or busted hearts, or busted open on straight draw, but you never know. The kick's been pretty solid. I imagine he's probably going to fold here. Okay, so now with the blinds being 150, 300, the kick has 19 big blinds. Gibbler has 50 big blinds. And Charlie Carrel has 43 big blinds for now, but he's about to have a wee bit more because he's got the OP. BU vs BB. So it's interesting. Harrison flop bottom pair, but in terms of like equity and stuff, his hand's not looking that good. Like there are not that many good runouts for him. 6 is bad, 5 is bad, 9's bad, 10's bad, diamonds bad, hearts, a lot of bad cards. Anyway, he calls. He's got bottom pair. He probably feels like it's unlikely Charlie hit this board with it being low cards, so it's more likely his pair is good. But Charlie's just going to take him to Value Town, betting all the streets. All the streets. Right. King is a good card to be bluffing on. So, why not value bet with it too? And now Charlie's got 50 big blinds. Kick with a playable hand on the button. Good spot for a min raise. You aren't thinking about shoving, are you? Oh, you are. I'm going to do the unexploitable shove for 20 blinds. Now, Harrison... He's probably ahead with his pair of 6s, but not way ahead. He's beating 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, but he's flipping with a lot of hands. He's going to run it. If he didn't run it, I'm sure Charlie would have. And both got the job done. But Gibbler takes the spot. We are now heads up. Congratulations to the kick, finishing 3rd place for $690,000. But more importantly, congratulations to Charlie Carrel and Harrison Gimbel, who have both locked up $967,000 US. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for part 2 of the series. Our man has made it down to the final heads-up battle, mano a mano. Can't wait to see him close it out. We'll be bringing that to you next Tuesday. I hope you found this video educational and entertaining. If you did, please mash that like button and hit me with a thumbs up. Been loving your guys' comments, so please keep them coming. And know that I've been stepping up my game on Facebook and Instagram. So if you're looking for poker tips, inspiring quotes, or hilarious poker gifts, come join the conversation at Gripsters on both platforms and get involved with the community. I'll see you next week for the final part of the series where we see how Charlie managed to beast mode this heads up to take home $1.2 million. Until then, you know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there, and get stacking. Peace.